Communities oppose sand mining in Madang. Progress on National Energy Authority bill intensifies. And government owes private sector more than 2 billion kina.
This is National EMTV News with Jeremy Mogi.
Thank you for joining me for Tuesday's news. After the changes in government ministerial portfolios, one of the first things the new Energy Minister, William Onglo, intends to achieve in this newly created ministry is to seek the National Executive Council's endorsement of the National Energy Authority Bill 2020. Work has already been done to establish this new entity, and the new minister is hopeful he can get the bill to the NEC and further to the Parliament for enactment as soon as possible.
This bill is to establish the National Energy Authority, an entity crucial to drive major government policies and development agendas on energy. New Energy Minister William Onglo gave his undertaking today to prioritize this during the takeover of the ministry from Karen Kakua.
The National Authority Bill 2020 must be united to establish energy laws and appropriately implemented it.
Petroleum Minister Karen Kakua, who used to be Minister for both Petroleum and Energy, praised the Prime Minister for creating a separate ministry for energy, as this division holds a huge potential that can unleash development in the country.
The Prime Minister, in his wisdom, has seen it necessary to make such a very, very wise decision, which I think will mark a turning point in history for Papua New Guinea's quest for development by making energy a standalone department of its own, with its own dedicated minister, with its own dedicated secretary and team of staff. It has to. If we are to realize the potential and achieve our quest for development, that is a necessary step.
Kua added that despite this potential, there is so much politics about the different sources of energy the country should use, the debate about the use of clean and unclean energy. To this, he says PNG has no capacity to indulge in such politics. Instead, should look at how an energy source can drive industrialization in this country.
Our question is not whether it's clean or not clean. Our question is whether it's affordable or not affordable. Whether it is cheap and affordable, whether it's cheaper, whether it can be cheaper than it is now, so that we can encourage industries to grow, through which development will ride on its back. So sourcing the correct source of energy is a challenge your department will face.
New Energy Minister William Onglo acknowledged the potential of energy to drive development in the country and said he would do his best to work towards achieving the government's visions in this sector. Ruth Rongola, National EMTV News.
A total of 2.8 billion kina in bills is still owed to the private sector by the government. This figure was specified by the Business Council of PNG, who up until recently released numbers in its second Markets Conditions Survey. Highlights of the results indicated that a majority of businesses surveyed continue to experience revenue and net profit decline halfway through 2020, with more business leaders expecting a drop in annual revenue and net profit in Q2 compared to Q2 2020.
Results from the survey were done with just over 250 respondents in 30 different sectors nationwide, with 68% of the respondents being heads of their organizations. Presenting the findings and recommendations to the media yesterday, Business Council Executive Director Duveri Henao highlighted that while business organizations have indicated adjustments to the COVID-19 regulations, many have not been able to meet their half-year target.
And that's a substantive amount. So you're looking at micro, small enterprises all the way to the large domestic and foreign enterprises. All have indicated that they will not meet their half-year results. So there is a major drop in sales and business performance.
Findings also indicate that there has been a significant delay in resource projects that are affecting investment and flow of capital into the market.
And the big thing here is the settling of government debt. The government debt to the private sector is 2.8 billion kina. So it's just a little bit below 3 billion kina on government debt. So that's a significant amount of money. And some of these bills, they go all the way back to the Pacific Games. They go all the way back to APEC, all the way back to other activities that were conducted 3-4 years ago.
Additionally, the debt of 2.8 billion kina is adding more stress into the sector that is already seeing massive declines in sales. And with this type of debt hovering over the private sector, the current market condition is extremely under stress.
There needs to be a major shift in the way that government is conducting its activities. And we've seen elements of that coming through the supplementary budget. But of course, we'd want to actively explore how those recovery, rescue, and stimulus packages can be much more integrated into a recovery that can see the improvements of the numbers that we've collected.
The Business Council further stressed that policies need to target enabling sectors so that there is a correlation between what is being pushed out to enable growth in the market. Anet Kora, National EMTV News.
The Ombudsman Commission has referred the member for Abau and now Health Minister Sir Pukatemu to the public prosecutor for alleged misconduct in office. The Commission investigated the alleged misconduct in office, which arose from his failure to uphold duties and responsibilities as required under Section 27 of the Constitution and the Organic Law on the duties and responsibilities of leadership. The Minister was notified of this referral on the 25th of September 2020. The referral is before the public prosecutor, who has the discretion to bring or decline to bring proceedings. A PNG Customs Officer charged with 5 counts of official corruption, abuse of office, extortion and conspiracy was cleared of all allegations by the Waigani Committal Court. Ernest Ilarupa, 38 years old, from Kiapara Village in Rigo District, Central Province, was accused of receiving a sum of 60,000 kina to clear off a 40-foot container containing contraband cigarettes.
To finally have his name cleared of allegations of abuse of office and other related charges, a relief Irarupa says he was charged for doing his work. The allegations in this matter date back to 2018, when Irarupa was officer in charge of declaring imported goods through PNG Customs.
I was then officer who would stop it and tried to do the right thing and got arrested for doing the right thing. I had to bear with it and go through that process until finally the court has cleared me.
Irarupa was accused to have received bribery to clear off a 40-foot container that contained Double Happiness, an illegal cigarette brand. Thus, Irarupa was charged with various offences under the Criminal Code Act. The evidence police submitted before the Waigani Committal Court included records of text messages and phone calls extracted from phone companies and Irarupa's statement. After considering this, the Waigani Committal Court found that there were insufficient evidence to commit Irarupa to stand trial at the National Court. Magistrate Ernest Wilmot in his ruling said while there were serious allegations, the police did not prove that the defendant did receive the money. However, Magistrate Wilmot said while police are supposed to conduct a separate investigation and conduct an independent assessment on the allegations, in this matter, it is seen that police was riding off information provided by the PNG Customs Internal Investigation Unit.
There was no evidence to commit him to stand trial. And yes, one of the most importantly pertinent to his ruling is that magistrate found that the prosecution was relying on the internal investigation of the police, the customs internal investigation.
Ira Rupa is the second PNG Customs Officer to be cleared of such allegations. His co-accused Benjamin Sine was also charged for similar offences, but had all charges dropped after the same court found insufficient evidence against him. Thekla Gunga, National EMTV News.
2 men were shot dead and 2 others wounded when criminals held up a PNV truck full of villagers from Nuku in West Sepik Province who were on their way to Maprik Town. West Sepik Provincial Police Commander Chief Inspector Moses Ibsagi said while reports are still sketchy at this stage, he can confirm that 2 men have been shot dead by criminals. The incident happened at Wamarau. He said police on the ground are still investigating the incident. Men, women and children who survived this ordeal were taken to Drekekir Health Center in East Sepik and attended to. PPC Ibsagi said a team from Vanimo Police will be sent to Nuku to help with the investigation. Currently, there are only 3 policemen serving the entire district of Nuku. Meanwhile, people who frequent the highway say this is not the first time such robberies have occurred along the highway bordering East and West Sepik provinces. Villagers with bags of vanilla worth thousands of kina and cash for small businesses have been robbed multiple times. And still ahead, PNG Defence Force soldiers and a policewoman charged. Those stories and more after the break. Welcome back. A PNG Defence Force soldier in Manus will appear before the Lorengau Committal Court to answer to 6 counts of traffic offences. This follows a road accident at Lalok Bridge on the 28th of September. Behaladai, 44 years old from Taripori in the Hela province, was released on a 1,000 kina police bail and is facing charges of negligent driving, driving under the influence of liquor, driving without a valid driver's license, driving an unregistered motor vehicle, driving an uninsured motor vehicle, and failing to comply with police instructions. Now, in a separate matter, another PNG Defence Force soldier, 27-year-old Stephen Ipatu from Wabeg in Enga province, was charged for similar offences. Ipatu is expected to also appear before the Lorengau Committal Court for being in possession of homebrew. Both soldiers are based at the PNG Defence Force's Maritime Element Naval Base in Lombrum. In another case, in Manus, a policewoman in Lorengau has been charged for aiding a man to escape while in custody. 27-year-old Sharon Wamuni from Ambunti, Drekekir district of East Sepik province is accused of unlocking the cells on the 27th of September 2020 to allow a convicted prisoner, Job Pobres, to fetch water. However, the convicted armed robber escaped. He was serving a jail term of 5 years and 2 months when he left the premises. Manus Police Commander Chief Inspector David Yapu said Wanumi's failure to report the matter led to her arrest. She is currently on a 21-day suspension. Communities in the Sumgilbar local level government area of Madang are opposing a plan by a foreign company to mine sand along a nesting area of endangered leatherback turtles. The proposal is being pushed by a Singaporean registered company with Chinese interests. If the plan is approved by the government, it will affect 10 communities and interfere with traditional fishing areas and their way of life.
This is a map of the area proposed for sand mining. It covers nearly 50 square kilometers of inhabited coastline. And all this is customary land belonging to 10 communities in the Sumgilbar local level government area in Madang. The company pushing for the project to happen is New Guinea Sands Limited, a Singaporean registered company with Chinese interests.
There are some of these issues, lessons that we need to learn and correct our mistakes, instead of repeating the same old mistakes all the time.
And if sand mining is approved by the government, it will mean the displacement of people in the 10 communities and a general disruption of life. Wenceslaus Magun, who heads a leatherback turtle conservation program in Karkum village, says the proposed mining site is on nesting areas of the endangered turtles. His group put in more than 10 years of work to get this site recognized in PNG and internationally.
And then when the modern hearing moved on to Kangur, it was initially supposed to take place at Tokain. But the guys who spearheaded the modern hearing wanted it to be held at Kangur because they feared that the NGOs will take part in the modern hearing at Tokain and will oppose the modern hearing and the request by New Guinea Sense Limited.
The communities have already written to the Mineral Resources Authority to express their opposition to the sand mining. Other members of the Madang community have also backed their call. Scott Waide, National MTV News, Leh.
The USAlukatum ground program will be utilized in mobile application ComCare to monitor and evaluate the progress of their programs in the country. Being a program aimed at conservation and people empowerment, their focus is on communities that are in areas where there is high biodiversity. Today, implementers were trained to use the mobile application that will aid in the role of monitoring and evaluation.
These are officers from the Nature Conservancy, Care International, REAL and Cardno International Development. They are implementing partners in the USAlukatum ground program led by Cardno. As part of the monitoring and evaluation of programs in focus areas, they are required to use a mobile application called ComCare to monitor progress. Over the next 3 days, they will be trained to use this application.
The training basically covers a lot of stuff in the capture of data, how to log in from a mobile app and how to collect data from the field and how data is synchronized back to the server, which is the ComCare server.
With PNG ranking as one of the top 20 most biologically diverse countries in the world, USAID's PNG Lukatum ground program is aimed at environment conservation and empowering people to take care of these diverse environments. It covers the Bismarck Forest Corridor, the Madang Reef to Ridge, and the conservation area at use in Morobe. With the aid of the ComCare application, they will be able to monitor these programs over the next 5 years.
We like to impart the knowledge and the skills that is lacking, and with the monitoring and evaluation learning, that's one of the major components of this project, where we like to monitor all the aspects of the project, starting from first year to the final year, to the last year, which is 2025.
Lucy Kopana, National MTV News, Leh.
A stretch of road in Morobe's Nawai district has seen no major upgrade for 8 years. The second 7 back road leading to Bumayong was last upgraded in 2012. And Nawai MP Kennedy Wenge said that the road was budgeted for under the National Road Development Plan last year. However, no upgrade has been done to date.
This is the Bumayong back road leading up to the second 7 junction. The road has not seen any upgrade for the last 8 years. The countless potholes on this section of the road is unending. Conditions here get worse when it rains. Its dire state has made it a hot spot for armed holdups over the years. The last upgrade to this road was in 2012 under the leadership of current Nawai MP Kennedy Wenge. According to Mr. Wenge, this road was budgeted for under the National Road Development Plan for Nawai District last year. However, no major upgrade is evident to date.
Budget blow, road come up, money you go when we saw kind of.
Anti mi kan tahu sila rodem anmak blo Kennedy Wenge. And now me plus start long time no plus service come inside lawyer.
Government blame me law now. Ginson sound want them all. Member blum pla now I candidate please in Apol help me pla lo this la road blum pla lo big road.
This stretch of road is only 30 minutes away from the city, yet has been in this condition for years. Its condition is similar to other roads within Leh City. Funding complication is often the main reason of the deteriorating state of these roads. Charlene Airy, National MTV News, Leh.
10 staff of Kinabank's Kimber branch, joined by their families, spent Saturday morning cleanup around the Spirit of West Circuit in Kimber Town near the bank. Following the cleanathon, the team donated 11 10-kilogram rice bags to the Kimber General Hospital kitchen to support the hospital during a difficult time amidst the current COVID-19 pandemic. The hospital kitchen feeds all the wards and admitted patients. Provincial Health Authority CEO Stan Teo said the hospital was experiencing tough times with financial constraints, and the donation was deeply appreciated. The food donation was purchased with a percentage of prize money awarded to the Kimber branch in the first quarter company CEO awards for demonstrating outstanding teamwork. And now looking at the NASFAN market report, the Kina closed 5 points lower at $0.2940 US in the interbank market this morning. At Bank South Pacific, your Kina is buying $0.2785 US, $0.3844 Australian dollars, $0.2293 euro, and 28.70 Japanese yen. Looking at commodity prices at New York close, gold is trading lower, coffee and copper closed higher, cocoa closed lower. Crude oil is trading lower, palm oil closed lower, and copper closed higher. And on the stock market, the Dow Jones closed at 329.04 points higher. The ASX 200 is trading at 84.10 points higher, and the All Ordinaries is trading at 83.90 points higher. Still to come on National MTV News, East New Britain Governor Nakikus Konga takes a swipe at the province's business arm. Stay with us. Welcome back. You're watching Tuesday's news. East New Britain Governor Nakikus Konga has lashed out at the management of the East New Britain Development Corporation, the business arm of the East New Britain provincial government, for failing to make money for the province. Governor Konga says the company is one of the provincial government's financial strongholds that keeps East New Britain province on its feet during shortfalls. His comments come after the termination of Isaac Minikus as the Executive Director and CEO of ENBDC.
Australian administration.
Since taking office, Nakikus Konga has called for a reshuffle to the company's executive management. The governor's call follows instances of no proper record keeping of the company. In 2018, the provincial government, under the leadership of Konga, appointed a new board to manage the company.
If I want to own a company, and I don't have dividend every day, it's here where something is wrong. And this is what has happened for the last how many years, sir?
Last Friday, employees of the East New Britain Development Corporation petitioned the provincial government demanding stability in the company, as frequent changes to the company's management has affected the workforce. Their demand followed the termination of Isaac Minikus as the executive director of the company. When receiving their petition, Konga told those who gathered that he is not happy with how ENBDC is being managed.
Because for the last 20 years, 18 years, you have not paid us any dividend, not even one single lousy toy. You may work hard, but because something you don't want up,
the East New Britain Development Corporation is the business arm of the East New Britain provincial government. The company generates more than 100 million kina every year. The business comprises mainly stevedoring, supermarkets, real estates, and huge portions of cocoa and coconut plantations. The East New Britain provincial government relies on the company's profit to keep the provincial budget intact and cater to any shortfalls. Conga says while the country is facing an economic downturn, the province needs the company to be operating well, and he says the provincial government's intention to terminate Mr. Minicus was clear.
Bibin Rose William Lamour, na mixing na palekam, with the hope that by proof on situations, long company.
Edwin Fidelis, National MTV News, Kokopo.
The Kupiana ward in Arama LLG of Abao district in Central Province is into the polling phase of the ward councillor by-election today. And for the first time in the country, the biometric system is being used in this election and is expected to be used in any elections going forward, according to the PNG Electoral Commission. 4 candidates are vying for the Kupiana ward councillor's post in this by-election after incumbent Andrew Bahin died in February this year whilst serving in office. Counting is expected to commence tomorrow. Red Scar High School and Lealea Primary School each received a new and fully furnished staff house. The houses came as a gift from ExxonMobil PNG, operator of the PNG LNG project.
Red Scar High School in Porebada and Lealea Primary School in Lealea in the Hiri West, just outside Port Moresby, each received a new and fully furnished staff house. For grade 7 teacher of Lealea Primary School, Wapu James, this means no more commuting just to get to her students on time.
For the last 3 years, I've been going up and down this place, living on the other side of the big village and coming here with my 2 children. My firstborn son was born. I used to bring him every day to school, go back. We've been sacrificing a lot due to accommodation. 4 of us used to live on the other side, 4 teachers, so I was one of them, taking my children up and down.
ExxonMobil PNG has supported both schools since 2014 with building and renovating staff houses and classrooms, as well as the construction of new ablution blocks. When teacher and students have access to a safe and comfortable place to teach and learn, the likelihood of improved educational outcomes is significantly improved. This year marks Mrs. James' 7th year in teaching, and she expressed her gratitude and excitement to be moving into her new house.
Today, I am more than happy that I will be no longer taking my children up and down to school, and my children will be now residing in the school place in this new house that has been built by ExxonMobil. A teacher, it's so tough walking up and down, but I know that this house will at least ease my problem of going up and down and coming to school every day.
Lillian Sopera Kinea, National MTV News.
Trukai Sports is next. Fidelis, what is in your lineup tonight?
Thank you, Jeremy. We have cricket, rugby union, rugby league and mixed martial arts. Join me for Trukai Sports after the break.
Trukai Sports.
Good night and welcome to Trukai Sports. One of the villages known for cricket since the introduction of the games by the missionaries is Gaba Gaba village in Central Province. According to cricket patron Karo Gamoga, cricket was once the most loved sport for the village, and with the launching of the new cricket pitch this weekend, he says this perception will be revived.
Gaba Gaba Village saw the launching of a new cricket pitch, a jointly sponsored project of Cricket PNG and the Australian High Commission.
We've been working really hard for us to have this launching and the pitch. Thank you to Cricket PNG and the Australia High Commission for this opportunity.
This pitch was dug out some 5 years ago after a rugby tournament, before a rugby tournament, and was promised to be laid back, but never done so. So the PNG Cricket Board came in, and I'm grateful for their contribution to erect this cricket pitch.
Cricket is over 100 years old in Papua New Guinea, particularly the southernmost part. And Gaba Gaba village also boasts of a history in this century-old sport.
Come the 1960s, we had a team actually playing in the Port Moresby competition called Chirawai Cricket Club, named after our famous river here. So cricket has its roots in this village, goes back many, many years.
With the new turf, cricket is bound to return as a top sport for the village, according to the patron, who, after the launch, announced sponsorship of a tournament he plans in honor of Gaba Gaba greats in the code.
I have launched a tournament called Bagelo Manu Vere and Bogare Vere, two great cricket brothers of this village. In honor of their legacy, my firm, Gamoga and Company Lawyers, we are sponsoring this tournament. And this tournament will be played throughout the whole of Rigo district, all the way from Keapara to Hula, up to Kemabolo, Saroa, and it will be played hopefully in December. And it's a prize money of about 5,000 to 10,000 kina.
The Gaba Gaba pitch is one of 48 pitches Cricket PNG is currently working on around Papua New Guinea in their pursuit to develop the code in rural areas.
We've already put on about 26 around the country, including Southern Highlands. There'll be 2 more built in Western Highlands and 2 in Eastern Highlands. We've already put some around Central Province, one in Irupara, one at Keapara, one here now at Gaba Gaba, and there's a couple more around the central areas. So, yeah, this is part of the partnership that has been going since 2019 between Australian High Commission and Cricket PNG.
Kilawani, Trukai Sports.
The Australian High Commissioner John Philip today handed over Get Into Rugby equipment to PNG Rugby Union. The Get Into Rugby program promotes values of the game itself, including participation by both boys and girls, to promote respect and discipline among other traits. The Papua New Guinea Rugby Union were today handed their Get Into Rugby equipment by the Australian High Commissioner to Papua New Guinea, John Philip. The Australian government, through the Pacific Oz Sports Program, is in partnership with Oceania Rugby and PNG Rugby Union and is supporting the Get Into Rugby program, a program that is aimed at supporting boys and girls at the school level understand the basics of rugby league and learn respectful social behavior in a safe and non-contact setting. National Development Manager of PNG Rugby Union, Ian Liveras, said the donation of the rugby kits, which include balls, cones and bibs among others, will be crucial in rolling out the program across the country.
The GIR kits will be crucial in rolling out our schools and junior rugby programs throughout the country for the remainder of this year and in 2021. Get Into Rugby is World Rugby's mass participation development program that introduces the skills, rules and strategies of rugby in a safe, non-contacting playing environment. The program includes 3 progressive stages: try, play, stay, culminating in a Get Into Rugby festival that brings together girls and boys teams to play tag rugby games.
The Get Into Rugby program has been a success in the Pacific region and has reached over 100,000 boys and girls, 30% of them girls. High Commissioner John Phillips says Australia is committed to building sports in Papua New Guinea.
The Australian Government and the Australian High Commission, we're really pleased to try and encourage and promote PNG sport. We love competing with you, we love being allies with you on the sporting field. And we've tried to do a lot to build up sport in Papua New Guinea.
The program includes 3 progressive stages, which promote gender participation by both girls and boys. This was demonstrated today by students from the St. Joseph's Catholic College in Port Moresby. The program aims to have the students participate not only in the basics of rugby union, like passing, running and rucking, but to understand respect and integrity among other social behavioral traits.
Sport can really be a fantastic tool for development, for respect, for team building, for respect for women and for men, for each other, to reduce gender-based violence in our community, to integrity and ethical play and good and social competition.
In PNG, there is a total participation of 5,368 boys and girls from 23 schools across 12 provinces. That story ends Trukai Sports. Jeremy will be back with the weather forecast for the next 24 hours. Stay with us.
Trukai Sports.
This weather update is proudly brought to you by MoneyPlus, with you always.
Weather forecast for the next 24 hours. Port Moresby mostly fine, then chance of afternoon thundery showers, a high of 21 degrees. While over in Alotau, occasional showers and drizzles, a high of 29 degrees.
The weather update was proudly brought to you by MoneyPlus, with you always.
And that's the way it is this Tuesday, the 6th of October 2020. From all of us here at EMTV, pleasant viewing. Good night.